Distribution simply means arranging the objects uniformly. Okay, so I'll say control U to break it up, to ungroup it first, and then let's just get rid of this, and I'll make a couple of more objects here, some irregular ones. Okay, all right, and let's just for the time take it up in the paste mode. Fine. So I have a total of 5 objects, 1 2 3 4 5, and I want to align first. I want to align all of them to the bottom. So I'll say B on the keyboard. Now another thing, did you notice that it all got aligned in relation with this one? See, all 4 of the objects moved in relation with this one. Okay, now this is very important to understand here. While aligning, it is not important that how the things are getting aligned, but also in reference to what is getting aligned. That is very important. So I'll just take another 1 minute describing it, because I think it's very useful, and you should have a understanding of it, a fair understanding of it. Okay, so basically let's say that I have selected these two and I want top alignment. So if I am hitting T on the keyboard, it goes automatically and matches it up with the top of the rectangle I have. But what if I want the rectangle to come down and match it up with this one? Okay, so can I do that? Yes, we can do that. That depends upon what is selected first and what is selected last. So let's do a little experiment here. So instead of clicking a marquee and then encompassing these 2 objects inside the marquee for selecting both of them at the same time, I would go with a different selection method. I'll add to the selection by holding shift and then click on this. So this was selected earlier, and this is the last object I have selected. If I say T on the keyboard, notice that the last object is being used as the referral object, and that is what is important here. If you wish to align this in relation to this, make sure this is selected last. Same goes for multiple objects also. Let's say that I have this one and I have it here, and I want all of them to be aligned in relation to the circle. Okay, and right aligned. So what I'll do, I'll select this one first, shift click on this one, and then shift click on this one. So this is the last object and it will be used as a referral object if I hit the shortcut R on the keyboard. So it's not gonna move, but rest of the objects in the selection are going to move and align itself with the right edge of the object selected, because I hit R on the keyboard. If I hit T, same thing, this object is not gonna move. Okay, I think now it makes more sense. Alright, so I'll just randomly place things here and there. Now I'll bottom align all of them, say B on the keyboard. Okay, now the issue I have is the space between all these objects. Okay, so let's make it irregular a little. So I'll just move it towards right. Now the distance between these two is not equal to this one and this one, and if I want to manually adjust the distance, it will take a lot of time and effort, and you can never be sure about the result. Rather, I would go for a different approach and let the computer do the thing for me. So I'll make sure that everything is selected first, then I can go to objects menu, same, and after align I have the distribution options. So notice at the bottom I have alignment and distribution. Okay, so this option, and the shortcut for the same for opening up this dialog box is Ctrl plus Shift plus A, or otherwise you can also click on this icon here on the option bar. Okay, now under the distribute option I have these 8 different ways how we can distribute things. All right, so let's just hold our cursor for the on the top one and then say distribute left space objects evenly from their left edge. Now it seems a little difficult to understand. Distribution means simple. Our perception of distribution is that all the space between any object should be equal, right? But how computer is going to perceive this scenario, understanding that becomes important here. Now, if I want to reference out this object in relation to the area of the page, or the viewing or the working space we have, from which point actually I am gonna take the distance, the which would be the origin of this object. Okay, the 0 0 point of the object, that becomes important. Now, what CorelDRAW does, if I click on the first option here, it says distribute left. That means CorelDRAW is gonna consider left edge of all these objects, and based on that, it's gonna distribute all the objects. Okay. Now after that, we have the option. I'll just click on it and then show you. See, it is also showing us a demarcation. Left edge of all the objects are distributed evenly. So basically, distance between this and this is equal to distance between this and this and this and this and this and this. All right. So left edge distribution. I'll say Control Z, and once again try a different option. This time it says distribute center horizontally. Horizontally space objects evenly from their centers. Let's click on that. Now this is what we wanted in this case. No, because what it is doing, it is basically taking up the center of all the objects and distributing them evenly, and it is also giving us a hint what it did actually with these thin lines in the center. Okay, now notice the distance between two objects are not equal, but distance between their centers are equal. So that is what this option does. I'll say Control Z once again and try out the third option, which says distribute right. So it's exactly opposite of the left. Okay, now you can try out all these options. I'll just save your time here and do the space adjustment by clicking on this option. And the icon also says it all. If you just have a look at the icon, it would naturally come to you the way they have represented it here. So distribute space horizontally, and the tag says place equal space between objects horizontally. Very good, this is what we want to accomplish. So click on that, and now we have evenly distributed objects regardless of their geometry. So distance between these two objects is equal to distance between these two, and so on. So that is pretty much alignment and distribution.